Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Lowry at Home. This is episode 3. It is another beautiful spring day outside. I hope you're going to get outside with your family and enjoy this time. Remember, it's not social time with your friends. It's just family time out there, socially distancing on our trails. So thankful to have people enjoying nature during this time. And some of you, thankfully, have been sending us your pictures like we requested. We see in the pre-show countdown, there was yet another photo that one of our viewers sent in. So we love seeing those. If you send in your photos of what you are seeing this time of year, we will include those in the pre-show countdown too. The address is at the end of the show. Speaking of the show, today, as promised, we have naturalist Brett wrapping up our maple syrup coverage. We saw Laurel and Lauren collecting the sap yesterday. Today, Brett is going to tell us a little bit about the evaporator and how we make our maple syrup. So take it away, Brett.
All right, so now you're thinking to yourself, boy, we have collected hundreds of gallons of sap. What next? And especially when you find out, when you realize you have to get rid of close to 39 gallons of water for every gallon of syrup you're going to make. Boom! Like, well, how does that work? How are we going to do this? All right, well, I'll walk you through step by step. Now, how we do it at Lowry is a little bit different than maybe how you do it at home, but let's be real clear. People are asking me all the time, so what do you add to the sap to make it syrup? It's simple, folks. You add heat. That's it. So yesterday, people were collecting sap, and it came back to our big old tower up there, and you can see we have a massive tank that is near full of sap that is waiting to be cooked. Now, to get it down to the evaporator, we use my old friend, and let's be honest, yours too, gravity. We have a little white tube that is running from the sap tank, and it runs right through the wall, all the way down along the back, and it comes into this big old fancy contraption. And I'll be honest, people walk up and see this thing, and they go, ugh. They don't know where to start. It's a pan. Sure, it's a fancy pan, but it's a pan nonetheless. And so this is our evaporator. This evaporator has two separate chambers. The back chamber has fluted, a fluted pan, meaning there's a bunch of raised up little sections. So instead of cooking with the pan that's this wide, if you were to stretch this out, the pan would be this wide. It increases surface area. It allows us to cook this sap faster. Again, 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup. We need to get rid of a ton of water. This allows us to do it a lot quicker. So it boils and it boils and it boils, and it's feeding in the whole time, which is great because it allows us to stay nice and hot. You can see this is warming up as we're going. There's some steam starting to form as this cooks. This little thing here allows sap into our front pan. Now, a lot of places and a lot of people have something like this where it's flat. There are some chambers that will allow the sap to move through. As it's cooking, the more dense stuff is getting pushed along. But this is more typical as far as cooking sap down into syrup. Now, of course, I could finish it in here. I'm going to pull some out just to show you what it looks like coming out of here right now. You will notice that it is, looks kind of like dishwater. A little bit of dirtiness color-wise. There isn't a whole lot now. Very different from the sap that looks basically like water coming out of the tree. So you can tell this is cooked somewhat. I'm just going to go ahead and add this back into here. Now, when this is really humming and is really going, we can cook up to about 12 gallons of sap an hour. When you have 200 gallons sitting in the tank, I'll let you do the math. That's a lot of hours, but at least the old one we had was a lot slower than this. Now, because this gets a little tricky to tell, like, is this cooking? Like, all right, where's that imaginary line where syrup? Is it here? Is it here? Forget it. We pull stuff when it's close from here, and then we slide on over to this machine over here. Again, this is just another pan. It is a finishing pan. It is gas powered. Two things about this that work really great. One, we can control the heat. With firewood, it's up, it's down. It's really tough to kind of keep that at a constant temperature. Two, everything in here is at the same density. Now, syrup officially becomes syrup when we hit 66 2/3% sugar. All right, to get it to that point, again, a lot of cooking. You will notice when I draw stuff out of here, it does have a different look. It is closer to officially being syrup as I get it loaded up in this cup here. And then I'm going to transfer and show you. All right, well, you just told me, Brett, 66 2/3% sugar. How on earth am I supposed to know what that is? All right, you can do this a couple different ways. You can grab a flathead spatula. When you dip it in there and you pull it out of your pan, if it's coming out in beadlets, it's not done. When it comes out in a nice wide swath, boom, finished syrup. All right, maybe you want to take it a step up. Candy thermometer. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Syrup boils at 219. For us, we go even further yet. We bust out the hydrometer. This measures density. So I'll take my not quite finished syrup from here. I'm going to put it in my little cylinder right here, almost up to the top. Now, if this was close to being done, my hydrometer would start to float. I have a feeling it is going to sink right to the bottom. And it did. We're not there yet. Now, yes, I can walk away from this and let this cook. However, if you are going to be doing syrup at your house, know that the closer it gets to being finished, the higher the risk of having some sort of accident. It's going to foam up and boil over. We've gone through a couple stoves here at Lowry. But when it's all said and done, we'll pull it from here, we'll run it through a filter, it goes into bottles, and then it can sit on the shelf for up to 3 years. And we do sell some. I get asked all the time, what do you do with your syrup? We've already sold our syrup for this year. We're currently, the syrup that we're making now will be available in the spring of 2021. For now, that's about it from the Sugar Shack. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thanks, Brett, for that great segment on maple syrup. You know, today is Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday, which means it's my day to do some science experiments you can try right from your very own home. So come on back for that. Should be a different type of episode we're going to do that we haven't seen yet. Please do keep sending in your photos for our pre-show countdown. And thanks so much for tuning in to Lowry at Home. We'll see you next time.